You are now entering into a space where there is time, a time where stories are told. You are entering the PanRaconTeurs zone.
We're doing this live!
We're doing it live! Woo! I hope y'all ready for this, because it's another day that the PanRaconTeurs tell stories from around the world. Hope y'all buckled in. Hope y'all ready for this episode, because we're talking about strange encounters and weird stuff. What's up, everybody?
Howdy.
Morning.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good Tag.
Guten Tag. Throw that German in there. Is that German?
Yeah. Da. That's good. Get down, get in the chopper.
I knew it was coming.
Well, we're all fired up today because today we're talking about strange encounters. Ooh, I hope y'all ready. If you're listening to this while you're driving, drive safely. If you're road raging, get an ice cream, pull over, be good to your neighbor. We have a great episode today. We're going to be talking about some strange encounters. We're going to be talking about like weird things that are happening around the globe, and we're going to dive into some cryptid news that came up recently for something that affects us all. But I wanted to start off first by introducing our team. And of course, we have Nady B, our sound engineer. What's up, Nate?
Doing all right.
And the Delta being Felta.
In the Delta, I'm not giving Felta.
You said that. I think you said like in episode 1 or something. I'm bringing that back.
I'm not going to get Felta.
And of course, we're we need a drum roll. I don't know what that was. Like
a drum roll here somewhere. I just don't know where it is.
Yeah, give us the drum roll, Nate. That's the best drum roll I could do.
All right, ready for
Man, we're really building up this drum roll.
Oh, totally.
That's not a drum roll. That's a heartbeat.
Oh, that's not even a sound effect. That's just me right now.
Oh. Okay. Breathe, Nate. Breathe. Make sure you breathe. Clear. Oh, wait. Wrong one. Hey, we're happy. We have in our presence in our studios the one and only executive producer, Dan V. Dan the Man. What's up, bro?
Hey, morning, guys. Where's the money?
I don't know. Were you spending on the other channel that talks mess about this channel?
You get no funding.
Dan the Man, anything happening strange in San Jose, California?
Yeah. For 3 days straight, it rained. That's weird. That doesn't happen here. Rain? What is rain?
3 days straight?
Yeah. That's 3 days it's been raining. It's all sunny now.
Yeah, it is weird weather. And that kind of brings me into this next point here. The strangeness keeps getting stranger, guys. I've been kind of digging through the archives here at the PanRaconTeurs studios, and if you're asking, we have a PanRaconTeurs record vault. we have an archive.
We have an archive. No. We have a studio. We have a bank. You
guys don't know it. I mean, you guys probably think you see 3 like different locations. We're all in one location. Watch. If I do this, watch, I'm going to poke Dan.
Ow.
Yeah, we're so close. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's just cubicles. Me, I'm on the bottom, because I see everything up there. Mike's right in the middle, and then Dan's on the very top. Come on,
yeah,
guys.
we're in a doomsday bunker that somewhere in the United States, and that's why we're broadcasting this out. We once a month, we climb out, and then we go up onto the tallest mountain that we could find, boop, 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 with a satellite dish, and we plug in to the interwebs, and we release these episodes
Totally.
just for you.
Just for you. Y2K happened. My uncles, they kidnapped me. We went to a bunker. Everything was crashing. And we had to upload our videos to the internet, even though we thought it was going to completely crash.
Yeah, Dan's the only one that's actually above the bunker out in he lives out in the wilderness reporting what's happening in the real world. We don't know exactly what's happening, but he brings back some cool stuff like this. This was logged in from last year, so I'm reporting this from last year.
Listen, if you guys hear me, I'm stuck in this bunker. Get me out.
No, he's not. No, he's not. I deny it all.
That's right. You guys can't leave the bunker. It's still hell out there.
Oh, no. I know. I remember he said flames and fire falling from the sky still.
It's not stopping.
Anyways, we have an archive here in the depths of this this bunker that we've been in, but reports came from the outside in March 2024, March 7th, 2024, in Vacaville, California, a tornado touchdown.
Another one?
Ooh.
No, this is 2024. A tornado touchdown last year. In December 15th or December 14th, 2024, Scotts Valley, California, there was a tornado that touched down and actually picked up a big rig and put it on its side. December 15th, Santa Cruz, California, a tornado touched down in Santa Cruz, California.
Man,
and
we've heard of Twister Alley, man. This is a twisting coast.
This is unprecedented. And then December 15th, again, the same day, 2024, San Francisco had a tornado that touched down last year and did minor damage. So this is strange weather that, again, I'm just talking about last year. It started in March. We're in March, right? I think that's what Dan tells us. We're in March. And now we're back in March. March, I think it was 13th, a tornado touchdown in LA, causing lots of damage. I think it was like $200,000 in damage. So we're in tornado time, I guess, right now. So we're talking about strange encounters, times that we've run into things out in the world, and we're just like, I can't explain it. I saw it with my own eyes, and it was like, I still don't know what that was. One event that took place, it was probably like 6 years ago. We were me, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, and my wife. We were coming out of Denny's after church. We went to Denny's, and we're right off the Highway 5, and we're about to turn onto the main street, and we're facing the 5, like you're going down south to LA. We're looking in that direction, and this bright object, like it's as if somebody like took a million lumen light and just flashed it in your eyes, but for just a second, and then it turned into a blue ball, and like there was a big rig behind us, and the light's green. We're all staring at this thing. Nobody's beeping. We're all staring at this thing in the sky. My first thoughts are, oh, it's a drone. It's one of those drones that they fly over and take pictures or whatever. But this bright light turned into a blue ball, and then it began to pixelate into. It was still a round circle, but parts of it were missing. And like these little squares were left that were still illuminated, And still at that time, again, this thing is bright. It is, it is completely still in the sky. It's right above the 5. It could be as like going over the hill a little bit, but we could see it
Mhm.
right in our direct vision. Again, there's a big rig behind us, and it's a green light. If nothing was going on, he'd be beeping us like move, move, or something. But we're all sitting there. We're sitting in the car looking at this thing, and it begins to pixelate, and then it becomes very bright, and it goes kind of like a heartbeat, like boop boop, on the what is it called, Nate? The where the heart monitor,
Okay.
in the right, and it's kind of going like in a wave pattern up and down the 5. It's going in one direction, then it returns back into the next. And okay, I was like, oh, okay, again, my mind is still thinking drone, and it does that a few times. It kind of let me go to my screen there, and it just keeps making this motion, like a wave pattern motion. Then it stops, like it goes from one side, and then it shoots over to the center of our frame, and it's at a dead pause. Then it kind of goes down. Then it goes whoop, straight up,
Oh,
straight up.
on the
Didn't come
5.
down.
Trying to think where the
Right over.
5 is. You're going towards Patterson, right? Like you're just like that long straightaway all the way to LA.
Yep. And this thing is shooting
I mean,
it straight up.
the 5 is just
Great.
weird, and I mean, it's just a fast road. I mean, I see things on there. I seen Lone Cow out there. I seen
Hey.
some guys like getting butt naked in the forest there. Not the forest, but the farms out there doing things that are unspeakable.
Right.
What?
Yeah, no, you go down there. I mean, when I go to LA, like usually we take like a big 15 passenger van because we got like a whole group of people that want to go to LA. And there was one time there was just like this scarecrow looking guy, right? He has a potato sack on his head. He's got like holes for the eyes, and he has like it looked like Scarecrow. It looked like Scarecrow from Batman.
Oh, Eddie. Hey, oh,
No.
And he just has a pitchfork, but there's also another guy in the background. He's sitting down, and he has like a potato sack on his head. I'm like, all right, man. Whoever lives on the 5, or whoever lives off the 5 is just. I don't want to get off the 5 and just get lost. That's all I'm saying.
well, if you're on the 5 and you need to pull over into Patterson. We got a place called McDonald's.
And cartels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, there's that other story we're going to be telling later on. But yeah, there's a lot. But this thing stood out in my memory because I to this day could not explain it. It was, my mother-in-law, my wife, my brother-in-law, we're all, and the trucker behind us. I think there was a couple cars there too, but everybody was staring at this thing, bobbing up and down over the freeway, going back and forth, and it shoots straight up into the sky. It doesn't come down. We're looking at it, goes up and then disappears, like it's gone. And it shot up so fast, like nobody could be in it. It possibly could be a drone because of the speed was faster than, I don't know. I've seen drones go pretty quick, and the new drones, how fast they go. But this thing was before, like, it was like at the beginning when all the drone stuff was going on. But this thing shot up so fast, no person could be in it, and it looked like it could have been big enough for a person to sit in. That's how big this ball of light in the sky was. And this is broad daylight. Okay, let me say this. This is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right? It is in the middle of the day. Not a whole lot of glare in the sky. It's just this thing was just it blows my mind, like how fast it moved, how big it was. And the weird thing was it pixelated, and that was strange in itself.
Mm.
But then it just zooms out of out of our view, going directly straight up without stopping. It was pretty interesting to see. So that's one of
But it
my
was something, right? It's not like you can tell the size of it, but if it's in the background of the sky, that's kind of hard to judge sizes and stuff.
right. So it could have been big or small, but um, just you could see detail of it, but you couldn't see detail of it. That's the strange thing, is that you
Mm.
couldn't make out any silver features of it. It was just light, Pac-Man almost, arch at the top that was a lighter blue, a bright blue. And I don't know if you guys can see this. Hold on, I'm gonna turn my camera around real quick. And uh, uh, so this is my that's the blue. Did I knock it down? If I go this way. Oh, there we go. I got it. There's you guys see my lights.
And we're seeing everything.
I see the light.
Come on, camera.
Mm.
Camera. I don't know how to pick up my camera. I'm looking at my stomach. Okay, I'm not touching that anymore. We went on a journey. For those of you watching this on YouTube, you're like, it just went all over my room. I could. How does this camera work? I was pointing it right at the light. For a second there, you saw the blue.
Gotcha.
It was color blue. Sorry, I don't know how else to describe it, but yeah, one of the strangest. And then like you would hear about like UFOs, UAPs, and it's like, oh, I didn't pull my camera out. I didn't. It happened. Like you're mesmerized in that moment. I didn't even think about grabbing my phone. I was just like, I don't want to take my eyes off of this thing because I've never seen that before. And you're just, and there's three other people in the car with me. They could have pulled out their phone. We were all just kind of like, what is that? Holy cow.
Well, that's a natural instinct, right? Like if you see something strange and new, you want to look at it. Who thinks of grabbing a video of your phone to record? I wouldn't. I would like try to observe it with my natural senses first, and
Yeah.
it would be like a third thought that I would bring out my phone to record it. Yeah. Unless you train yourself, you have to like train yourself to do that.
And bro, you and I, we grew up in a time where we didn't have cell phones and we didn't have like instant cameras. Like if you wanted to bring a camera, you'd bring like a camera, like
A whole different system. Yeah.
yeah. It's not something that's so instinctual for us. We're used to like if being intentional with the stuff that we have. Like, if I'm gonna go take pictures, I'm gonna bring a camera. But now everybody has what do you think? Nate? What's your perspective on that? Like, if you see something that takes place, do you whip out your phone quick or
Get with the times, guys. You got to pull out your phone at any and every moment. There's always
Wow.
something to record.
Know what I also think about that? Like I always see these YouTube videos of these people. Like when something's bad's going on, that's the first thing they do. They bring out the camera. I'm like, that's like something wrong with that. What's happening?
They pull it out so
like
they can
run away from the situation, or no, the first instinct, and you have to train yourself to do that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm taking my pocket.
Bring out the camera to record.
Out. Yeah, no.
I think the new generation is just like totally lost, and we're gonna lose the new generation listeners. Listen up. I'm not hating on you. I just think that there's a gap break in living in the moment. Like not everything needs to be recorded. Like you're there and you're witnessing something. There was hundreds of people, thousands of people at Woodstock, right? Back in the day, seeing Jimi Hendrix play and all that stuff. They didn't have cell phones at the time. They had cameras, and but majority of those people were just enjoying the music, covered in mud and being around people, listening to music. And it was just like, ooh, in that moment. I think the new generation's kind of lost out on that living in the moment thing. That mindset of this is happening. This is real life. This doesn't need to be recorded.
In this generation, if you live in the moment, someone has a camera, you're getting caught in the moment too. So, yeah. It's like, oh, that was not a moment type thing. Then you like a really bad picture of you sweaty, red, and then they're like, oh, that was a moment. Was that really a moment? You look flustered there. But my generation, they don't. Well, I guess not even my generation now, but I'm officially called Unk. It's a new term. Unk. They're calling me old. It's crazy. It's like, that's not old. So before the millennials was called the boomers, that was old. But now the next generation's calling everyone Unk. It's like, oh, you're Unk, dude. You're super Unk. I'm like, what? What do you mean? It's like, oh, it's like I'm just old enough. I'm a little too old, like I'm not the younger years, 20s, the early 20s. I've hit the older 20s. And that's officially Unk age.
Why does everything have to be abbreviated nowadays? It's just like Unk. Was that UNC? UNK? Like,
no, it's
ridiculous.
It's just short for uncle.
Can't they just say uncle? Like,
no.
Come on, that's respect.
No, that's the whole point. They're trying to disrespect you.
This new generation. Anyways, how do we go off of that? No, but like in that moment when we were witnessing this, I not for 1 second, and I had my phone. I could take a picture. Like my phone could take a picture. It's this was not in the 1990s. This was like literally like 5 years ago. And not for 1 second did I think about whipping out my phone. It was, I'm experiencing this thing. I don't know what it is. It's just blowing my mind. And
you sound real Unk right now, Uncle Mikey.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, but can an Unk do this?
Just did it.
That's an Unk move. That's an Unk move, Nate. That's an Unk move. Yeah. So, yeah, just this strange thing that happened. And I remember one other thing that took place. This was back when I worked in security. Yeah, I got a lot of security stories. That's going to be a whole episode.
Hit us with security story today.
The first episode was about birds, the Thunderbird. That's when I was working in security at night. But I was working up in Saratoga. It was part of my route, and I was doing mobile security. I was driving around. I was the youngest patrol officer for our company. I was 19. Yeah, I was 19 years old, driving a company vehicle. And my boss, all right, this is our headquarters. Hold on. The cars were really like old school cars. They look like 1980s. Bro, what kind of car? It's like an old cop car, like those old cop cars with the round.
I don't know cars.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's one of those old style cars, just old cop cars, and there's about 4 of us driving around at night. So I'm driving around. Okay, wait. Our office was this guy's house. He ran his business out of his house. So like he goes, you need to come into the office, pick up the keys, and pick up your uniform. And I was so young. I was driving. At this time, like internet was still kind of new. We didn't have Google Maps or anything. So when he told me the address, I was like, oh, I know that neighborhood, and looked it up on a map, and like, oh, okay. And he gave me so I literally drove up and down that road, up and down that street looking for his address. And then I found it, and I was creeped because I'm like, this is a neighborhood, and I'm driving. Something's kind of off about this.
This is a security job.
Yeah, I'm looking for like a business building. So I'm just driving around. And I'm like, maybe I wrote the address down wrong. I pulled over in front of this guy's house, and it's the right address, right? I'm looking at it. I'm looking at what I wrote, and I go. So I call him, and I go, "Hey, um, I'm outside this address, but it's a house." I'm like, there's a park across the street. Is it? He goes, "Oh yeah." And he comes out, and he's like in shorts, and he's like, "Yeah, come on in." All right. In any other situation, and for all you young people out there, stranger danger should come up to you nowadays.
Yeah.
If someone invites you or says, "Hey, you got a job," and you pull up to a house and the guy opens the front door in shorts, and you don't go into the house.
In any other situation, I mean, in this situation, was it still legit?
uh, yeah, no,
Yeah.
this job was legit. But uh, me being so young, I was like, oh, $20 an hour when out of high school, $20 at that time, right? 2000, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So I'm like, yeah, $20 to drive around at night. Sure. I get to carry handcuffs. I get to carry a flashlight. They gave me a big old flash. Anyways, I walk up to this guy's house. He comes out and he's in shorts. Really nice guy though. And we go into his house, and I think his wife was cooking or something. And then we walk into like down a hall to the left to his bedroom, and there he has like monitors of cameras. I really didn't look at what was on the cameras. I'm thinking, oh, it's a security company. I don't know. But he's like, he had some uniforms on the bed. He had some uniform pants. He had the handcuffs. Again, this is a lot. If you walk into a house, somebody invites you in, there's a uniform on the bed with handcuffs. You need to turn around and run. But yeah, there's handcuffs. There's a flashlight. There's a ring of keys. And he's like, here you go. There's your uniform. Here's some boots. You'll be, kind of give me like the route that I'm going to be going on. He gives me the map. And cool. All right. So that's not the creep. That's not the encounter part. Though that to some people that could be an encounter by itself. Just walk.
To most people, that's an encounter in itself. I don't want to go into some stranger's house and he's offering me like he has handcuffs on the bed. I don't know what's gonna happen after that.
Watch out.
You would have saw
It was
me.
a different time.
Oh man, you would have saw me dipping out of that house, like stumbling and like crashing through the gate. Oh no.
Different time.
This is the yellow books time.
Hey, no joke. We used to use the yellow pages, for a lot of things. You can find friends' numbers in the yellow pages.
That's crazy,
right, bro? Like you can look up their address and their first and last name on
address.
Yeah, they used to have addresses in there.
How did the yellow books work? They kind of just gave information out like that before. I mean, I guess they still do, but it's probably even more accessible now. What I want to know is there a Yellow Pages website? Do they still even run up?
Probably. I think I heard about that.
We have the
website.
Yeah, we have the internet, guys. We could literally type it up right now.
That's true. Yellow Pages.
Oh my goodness, let's find that out. Man. But going on with the story, my shift starts at 8:00 at night. I'm working a 12-hour shift driving, so it's 8:00 to 8 in the morning. I'm driving up to Gilroy, through Saratoga, down to Oakland, to downtown San Jose, and then back up to is it Gilroy? Well, I had to go lock up like a doctor's office at night. So it was like a huge loop, but I was like literally just going around, and there was these things on the wall. Long story short, I just tag them and it shows that I was there. So I pull up into a parking lot in Saratoga at it was like an old house, like a historic house or something like that up in Saratoga. And my job was just basically park down the street and make sure that nobody is like getting into the house. It was pretty run down. It was all locked up and everything, but they just want to make sure nobody was trespassing or graffitiing it. So literally park down the street. My instructions are park down the street facing the house and shut off my lights so that, if I see any lights inside the house to report it, observe and report. So I'm sitting there and I have keys to the house. Actually, I have keys that gets me into the house. I have the alarm code, all that stuff. So I'm sitting down. It's about maybe 1 o'clock in the morning when I get there, and I'm just sitting down the street and I'm watching. It's pretty dark outside. There's no street lights, just a few like amber lights out in the distance, down the streets, moving down further. And so I'm just sitting there, and I see a light go on like the second floor. Like it looked like somebody had like a lighter, or they were trying to light something. So I go, "Oh, okay, maybe I just saw it. Maybe it was just like off my glasses, maybe like a little glint. I didn't take it seriously, but I see this little flicker of light, like somebody trying to light or turn on a lighter, like a Bic light, right? So I see a little flash again. So I get out of the car and I go, okay, just make sure it's not a glare on my glasses. I take my glasses off, and then I see just a little, for me, I can't see far away, but I could see if there's light, So I see it again, but this time it's like moving from one window to the next. So I start making my way. I'm writing it down in my notepad. I have like a notepad, and I'm writing it down. Light observed of 1:25 a.m. Deciding to approach house, report my findings, and I leave my notepad in the car. I start walking to the house, and I see it goes out. So I get up to the front door, and I start banging on the door, and I go, "Hey, blank security. You can't be in here. That's trespassing. You need to leave right now. I'm giving you guys an opportunity." I'm yelling like at the top of my lungs in the middle of this neighborhoods of some type. Nobody's around. It looks like a bunch of old historic houses. So I don't see or hear anything. I open up the front door with the key. I walk right in, and it looks like a person walking down the stairs to meet me, and then it stops and goes back upstairs. Ooh. And at that point, I ran. I was like $20 an hour. This is cool. I just started yelling. Like I backed up. Okay, I didn't run like a I'm a man. I didn't run. I slowly backed out. No, I jumped. I did jump. I jumped back, and I kept opening and closing the door like that was going to do anything. Hey, this is secure. You need to leave the premises right now. I'm going to be calling the cops. And nothing. And I start backing away, keeping my eye on the house. And at the very top, the light turns on, like the room light turns on, and then it turns off. So I call the cops. The cops.
You're slamming the door. You're closing, slamming the door, and he's turning off and turning on and turning off the lights.
Hey, whatever he wants or she wants to do up there, that's their business. But
I was trying to scare each other.
Ooh, I'm the ghost on the second floor. Yeah, probably some like young kids just messing with me. So I call the cops. Cops, I think it's like Saratoga police pull up. It's like two guys, and they're like, "Hey, you're the one calling in." They didn't like security guards much. They're just like, "Oh, you got scared, huh?" And I go, "Yeah." I knocked on the door. I was trying to let them know. Saw the light flickering on and on. So they go in like they're bosses. These guys are pretty big, tall dudes. They look like they can handle themselves. Like if something happened, I'm like, yeah, you guys do it. I got handcuffs and I got a flashlight. I'm not doing what you're about to do. So they walk in strategically, and then they have their guns drawn. They're making their presence known, and then they one by one enter into the house like SWAT,
Mm-hmm.
And so they make their way through. I see them go upstairs. Another unit pulls up behind me, and he goes, "Hey, you called this in? Just ask me questions." The two officers come out. They come back to their car, and they're like, "All right, no, there's nobody, and doesn't look like any forced entry or anything like that. Are you sure?" I was like, "Man, I saw someone coming down the stairs, like their feet, their legs, and then they went back upstairs." And I go, "Before that, there was a light, like they were trying to light something." And so we're like, there's 5 of us, right? There's 5 of us all just talking outside, and they already locked up I gave them the keys. They locked up the building. And then as we're talking, the light turns on the second floor. And the 5 of us turn, we all look at it, and there's somebody standing in front of the window, and then the light goes off, and then it looks like someone trying to light something on fire. So they book it because they think they're trying to, like, now it's arson. Like, it looks like someone's trying to light something on fire. The 4 of them book it toward the house. They go and clear it again. And they said, I just wrote in my notes, light observed, second floor. 2 cop units arrived and cleared the house. Nothing further to report at this time. And I went, whoop, I left. But there's 4 police officers, me, the security guard. We're standing outside, and they're talking like, they're very professional. I will say that about Saratoga PD. Very professional. They weren't harassing me or anything. They weren't, giving me a hard time. They're just like, "No, we checked everything out. If you see anything else, let us know." And as we're talking, the 5 of us all see the same thing. Is this figure of a person? It could have been male, female. It just happened very quick. It was like the light was on, off. The light was on, off. And then something it looked like someone was turning on a lighter. In that case, they just took off and left. They're like, well, they didn't have any words for it. It was like a strange title of the show today, Strange Encounter. Unexplained encounters. We don't know what the heck that was. And I'm standing there. I have to wait there for another 20 minutes before I can leave. And I didn't see anything after that. And it was, that one sticks in my brain too. That was, many years, 25 years ago.
Wow. You mentioned at the beginning, that was kind of cool, the amber light, because that's kind of particular to our area, right? The amber lighting that used to be all around because of the James Lick Observatory. They don't want bright lights reflecting back into the sky while they're observing. So all the lights in at least the South Bay, I think, were like amber. You go outside, it's an dim amber light. That's that are the street light colors.
See, I always thought that was the standard, right? Like but no, I live out here in the Delta. It's not. I guess it's yellow. Yeah, but your guys is like orange. There's like a dark light.
Dark amber.
It's like creepy out there. If you're out there at night.
Add to the milieu.
Yeah, everything's under an orange gray type of feel. I feel like I'm in it's like a filter called Senpai or something. I don't know what it's called. Semperfi or something. No, it's not that. Anyways, it's like a very brown monochrome color.
But I think it's time to go into our first commercial. We'll be back. If something is knocking on your window or doors at night, maybe you hear footsteps outside your room and nobody is home, call D&M Security. If you are taken out of your home by force or at gunpoint, we will make sure to observe and report, and make sure all the insurances know that something happened. By staying far away and watching from a distance, we will make sure observing, and reporting is done. That's a guarantee. We are DNM Security. We watch your back from far away. Back to the show. I totally see something, and that's in my report. What did you see? I saw it. I saw something. It looked scary. I didn't go any closer, but it looked scary.
I opened the door. I kept slamming and opening the door.
I was 19, man. I was scared.
I don't blame you. I would do the same thing too.
I was scared.
If anything, I was like, yeah, go ahead, burn it down. With you in it, get out of it.
The house catches on fire. I just like roast marshmallows.
Listen,
hey, there's firewood.
Just like there's no way I was going in there.
I was scared.
You say it's scared, but I think it was just smart thinking. I'm not going in. So if I saw somebody already coming at me and then he runs away, I'm going to run away too. Like, oh, this, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah. That was actually my first job out of high school was security. $20 an hour. Just an hour. So part of that route was I had to sit and watch. Okay, it's kind of off subject. I had to sit and watch for like 2 hours a piece of railroad track every night. It was like a historic park or something like that, and there was a piece of railroad track, not a railroad track, a piece of railroad track. And my job was to sit there for 2 hours and watch it at night and make sure nobody took it. I think I wasn't given directions on what I had to do with it. I just sitting in my car watching a piece of railroad track for $20 an hour. So,
get your money when you can, where you can.
That's right. Kind of go back to the unexplained encounters that we're seeing around this place. One of the craziest things, guys, I don't know if you. Oh, I'm hearing feedback. I'm hearing the feedback.
Still here?
Okay, I don't hear the feedback anymore.
Oh, okay.
Weird. All right. Anyways, I don't know if you guys heard this. This popped up in the news recently. Did you know that the U.S. has a doomsday plane?
I had no idea. What's the doomsday? What's the doomsday plane?
Okay, nope. So we don't just have one doomsday plane. We have two doomsday planes. And so recently, in March, I think it was 11th, the U.S. doomsday planes were spotted flying over the U.S. Midwest, taking off from Oklahoma and circling around Nebraska and Iowa before returning back to Oklahoma at the Naval Air Force Base there. The doomsday plane are Boeing E-68s or 6Bs. They're
put that in perspective for us. So, what is the normal planes that we see in the airport? Those are Boeing.
So those 747s are, I think, smaller than that. But think of if you know anything about planes, kind of like an A-10, right? Or not an A-10, C-17. What's the one where?
All right, what is it called? Boeing. What's the big
Boeing E-6B Mercury? The E-6B Mercuries. Gotcha. And so they're flying over, and what they are is at the height of the Cold War, when nuclear exchanges were these ideas of nuclear war breaking out were just up in the air. Both the U.S. and the Soviet Union created their own doomsday planes, and they were made to function as flying war rooms, and they're supposed to go up in the time of a nuclear launch. These planes fly up, and they have nuclear codes on them. They are built to sustain a nuclear blast, and they're also shielded from any kind of EMP pulse attack, which would knock out like electronics, so they could stay operational during a nuclear attack, a nuclear explosion. So these things don't come out very often, and so it was kind of eerie to see that. Um, they were flying up. They started flying around on March 10th, and they circled around a little bit. They're only supposed to fly in case of like a national disaster, not natural disaster, but national disaster. And if there is a an attack where a ballistic missile is fired, right? So that's the only times. I mean, yeah, okay, they're flying around. They send them up for just to make sure they're still operational. But those are the only times these things would actually take off. So just seeing one take off is creepy by itself, right? Like these things are rare to see. They're rare occurrences to be up in the air. So yeah, creepy.
I think Trump
Yeah,
just
you
likes
also,
flying that thing. You know, it's like, man, I want the biggest, baddest thing in the sky. I want to fly it today.
with all the tension between like China and Russia and us, yeah, probably just want to show them like our stuff works. It's working because they're watching,
Everyone's
right?
watching.
China with their hot air balloons or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, warfare's not even the same anymore. It's all about drones. We're gonna have
So that's another
robots fight
thing.
our wars for us eventually.
Yeah, I believe the last time they flew them or they were up. Well, um, was when Trump when he was in office in 2020 when the COVID outbreak took place. This was the first time since 1997 that they actually took off from the Air Force Base, and that's when we found out there was two Doomsday planes, one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast. And so when Trump and the First Lady got COVID, the Doomsday planes took off, and they were seen circling around the West Coast and one on the East Coast. So it was like a high tension um, point in time,
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's terrifying, you know? We got two of the scariest things in the sky, you know, meant to it's like the four horsemen type stories, you know, it's like, oh, you see this in the sky, you know, the end is coming.
Yep. Like, and I only brought this up in Strange Encounters, Unexplained Encounters. It's just, yeah, why did they take off? There's a whole lot of reasons why they could have taken off, but there's only like two that really matter. It's like someone launched a nuclear ballistic missile, or there's a national disaster. So, and the third, we're just testing it out, make sure it still works.
Well, let's just hope it's the latter.
Yeah, they landed, so I guess we're all good.
Safe and
Right.
sound on these strange encounters. Hit us up with the news you have about Bigfoot.
Okay, so breaking news. Boop, 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 boop. Oh wait, we got watch out now. We got breaking news coming in from the PanRaconTeurs News Center. We have new discovery in regards to El Big Zapato. No, what's his name? Bigfoot.
Big zapatos.
Big shoes. Hey,
Okay.
I was trying to.
Mr. Shaq.
getting with the time.
I was
The
trying
ground
to.
is thorny out there.
Yeah, we got brand new story coming out from Maine. I know that's not in California, but this is the latest discovery in which Bigfoot has come back into the story, has come back into the mainstream media or strange steam media,
Ooh,
right?
strange.
So this guy that he owns some property out in Maine. He one morning wakes up recently, and I believe it was February, and he stumbles upon these huge human-like footprints, and they're I sent stuff over to Nate, so he should be able to probably pop them up.
When'd you
But
send
this
it? I'm not.
in our meeting on I think it was Monday. We were doing like a production meeting in the bunker. Anyways, we'll post this up on Instagram and Facebook. You guys can see it for yourself. But this foot, let me see if I can pop it up on my screen because I have technology, and I'm not an unk. Whoa, there! Who's that? That's Bigfoot. That is sorry. I gotta put him in there. He's so cute. Okay, that's not it. Okay, so this is the foot. This is the foot that was seen. If you could look on my screen, that's the foot. It's a huge human-like foot. It has 5 appendages, just like any one of us have, unless you are missing a digit. Well, if you are, then you're not part of the Bigfoot family. But if you have all 5, you're a human.
What's that? No, sure. Does it matter how many toes he has as long as it's a big foot, right?
I don't know. I guess because I mean Shaquille O'Neal has like what size 25 shoes.
I believe it.
Yeah, I don't know. Pretty
So
big,
maybe
right?
these aren't such big feet. It's just a big foot compared to I guess that guy in Maine, and he saw this foot again. Let me try to zoom in on it a little bit because I have technology, guys.
I need a
And then
size
it-
comparison though. I could just
Okay,
be a
now
normal
look
size
at my
foot.
hand. Look at
Oh, great.
if you're listening, I'm holding my hand up to the picture up on my screen, and I'm like, that big?
It's about
That's
that
not
big.
big.
It's about the size of my forearm.
Shaquille O'Neal has bigger feet than my arm. Anyways, he found this print in the snow. They casted it. They did, he called out a Bigfoot research specialist in the area from the who were they called? The the Bigfoot Mapping Project, BMP. So they started casting this foot, and they said, they and the two of them begin to follow it into the woods. There's over 20 acres this guy owns, so he's trying to track it. And to give this guy's backstory a little bit, he hunts deer, moose on his property. So he's good at tracking things. So he begins to follow him, and this researcher begin to follow these prints. And the big controversy in the Bigfoot world is that, and the deniability, there's a big push against this new finding, is that they're saying as they were following the footprints, they begin to turn into hoof prints. And so they go, well, it could have been, and a lot of these Bigfoot hunters, Sasquatch hunters, are saying, well, it was always like a hoofed animal on all fours. It just happened to, and look at that foot.
What I want to know is why are they switching to hoofed feet now of all times? So that's what they're believing now. It was
No, that's a totally different animal.
Yeah,
That's says we identified it by the footprint, right? That was the first evidence.
That's the whole reason.
So it's like a hoof.
That's a foot.
That's a different animal.
But that's a foot.
It's just Bigfoot. He's he's making pets out of moose,
Pieces,
and he could ride moose across the plains of Maine or the mountains of Maine. He's just another bipedal animal too. He gets tired, but he just wants to ride one of those four-pedal animals, get places faster. That's why he gets to California and then he gets all the way to Maine.
He calls over his grizzly bear pet, and then he comes out and he rides on the back. He gets tired. I'm tired.
Man, today I'm tired. But instead of coming to that conclusion where like, oh, maybe he's just riding an animal, they came to the conclusion that he is half other animal. He's not just a Bigfoot. I mean, why does he have hooves? I don't get it.
I like how like when we do Bigfoot's voice, we went like this. Like Bigfoot. Like, what if he talks very intelligently?
Who's to say he doesn't talk intelligently with a voice like that?
He's like, come hither, my grizzly friend. And
he has a British accent.
the moose shows up and a bunch of Mises show up. So the group that is in charge of this investigation, they're called
I want to see a picture of this group. I want to see what they look like.
So they're called the BFRO, or the Bigfoot Research. What's the O?
Organization.
Organization. I'm just going to say that. They ultimately determined that the tracks could not have been by any prosaic creature, including moose or rabbits or a human being walking through. I don't know why they wrote it like that. Based off the footage and report, the founder concluded that the trail embodied authentic Bigfoot tracks. So this is coming directly from the guys that's what they do for a living. That's what they track this thing. And can I work with you guys? Because that sounds like a cool job.
It's an interesting job.
I want that job.
The Bigfoot mapping community.
Yeah. And I can't make up names either. The founder of the BFRO, his name is Matt Moneymaker. Like, what a name.
What a name.
What a name.
We found the money.
We found this guy.
His original last name was just like Albertson, but as soon as he got into the Bigfoot business and he created the organization, the money started flowing in. He's like, I'm changing my name to Moneymaker. I'm rolling in this Bigfoot money right now.
Imagine the industry that roams around the myth of Bigfoot. Like Bigfoot's merchandise, Bigfoot's, just the telling of Bigfoot. So that guy must be making money.
We're missing. We got to get in there, guys. The PanRaconTeurs Sasquatch tour. and hey, well, if we could do it for a living,
yeah.
But one of the greatest proponents against this, or proponents, one of the greatest people that are really fighting against this new finding is his name is Jeff Meldrum. He's a professor at Idaho State who says that, and he's also an author of a Sasquatch book, theorizes the footprints to be those possibly created by hooves. So he's not even saying that that's a foot. He's saying those are hooves. And the video that they were shown just points to never being a Sasquatch in the beginning. So, yeah.
I mean, the more you know. People are going to try to find Bigfoot in every generation. But we already found him. He plays basketball. His name is Shaq.
He's huge.
Yeah, that guy. Like, if you compare Bigfoot to that guy, it's the same thing.
Yeah, so this is the latest discovery. The pictures involved, but I mean, if you could see that, that's Bigfoot right there. That's a real picture right there. But it doesn't look like much to me.
Pretty sure it's a costume.
That little dot there, that foot. So that's what's going on. So we're getting ready to wrap. But before we do, we're going to play a quick game on the way out. just for fun to test weird stuff, since we're talking about strange encounters and weird things. We're gonna play a game called Real or Fake Movie Title Editions with Dan and Nate. I hope you guys are ready for this.
Right.
So I'm gonna be reading off some movie titles. You each get to say whether it's real or fake. Hold on, let me get this up here. Not Sasquatch guy. Where's my? There it is. The first one. Are you guys ready? I thought you had some music to this, Nate.
Did we? If I do.
I don't know. Anyways, all right. All right. Here we go. Number one. Marla's Mabel.
That doesn't sound real.
Marla's Mabel.
Fake.
Fake. Doesn't sound. Yeah. I have fake too.
Marla's Mabel is a 1990 fake movie.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. 1-1. 1-1. All right. The second movie. The Ground That Came Awake and Killed.
Fake.
The Ground That Came Awake and Killed.
From the 50s. Yes, true. Real.
Real.
The 1991 classic fake movie.
Oh.
So 1-1. I wrote that one. I was like, this will get him. All right. Number 3. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across 8th Dimension.
Real.
The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the 8th Dimension.
Oh, I know that one, though. I know it's real. That's going to let me ask first. Did you watch that movie, Nate?
No, but it sounds like a real movie.
All right. It's a 1984 real movie. The movie's about a surgeon rock musician adventurer called Buckaroo Banzai and his men, the Hong Kong Cavaliers, who fight evil alien invaders from the 8th dimension.
That's a crazy sound. That's a crazy plot right there.
All right. Moving on to the next one. A Gentleman and the Ungentleman.
That's like
The Gentleman
That's real.
and the Ungentleman.
I say fake.
The 1992 classic fake movie, The Gentle and Ungentleman. All right. Dan has 2. Nate has 2. No.
Yeah.
Dan has 3. You have 2.
Okay.
Next movie.
We need a scoreboard here.
I'm writing it down on paper. Okay. All right. Number 5. Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death.
Fake.
Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death.
I say fake.
I'll say fake.
The 1989 movie Real Movie.
Oh,
tells the story.
Wow, I thought it went
The story tells the story of Margot Hunt, a professor in feminist studies who has been hired by the U.S. government to track down a tribe of cannibal women called the Piranha Women.
I thought it went too specific on with the avocado.
Yeah, the avocados
I
threw
threw
me
you
off.
off. Threw you off. All right, so 0-0 on that one, guys. Win for me. That's a point for me. Next one. A Vengeance. A Vengeance.
That's so generic. That could be real. I'm gonna say fake though.
I'm gonna go with real.
So it is fake. It is a fake movie. I thought it would get you guys, and it did, because it sounded close to Avengers. So
Vengeance.
All right.
You know what?
All right, we got 3 more.
We're just giving people movie titles. Okay, that's it. We're giving them great movie
somebody's
titles.
gonna make these. All right, we got 3 more. Here we go. The Positive True Adventures of the Alleged Texas Cheerleader Murdering Mom.
Real.
That's
a
not pretty
documentary.
good. Real.
That's a documentary.
Like somebody went to work on that title.
The Positively True Adventures of the Alleged Texas Cheerleader Murdering Mom.
I'm gonna say true for the effort.
Yeah.
It's a 1993 movie based on a true story of Wanda Holloway, the woman who was known for attempting to hire a contract killer to murder her daughter's cheerleading rival.
That is crazy.
It's like the longest title to the movie.
I mean, how else can you explain that though? That's the title. That's a solid one.
Cheerleading, murdering mom. Okay, I would have named it that. Anyways, all right, two more. The incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies. The incredible strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies.
Fake.
I think that's an Ed Wood title movie or something, right? No? I'm going to say true.
I say fake.
It's a 1964 movie, American monster movie, produced and directed by Ray Dennis Steckler. 1964.
These movies sound more like, we can't, in this day and age, we keep complaining about YouTube video titles being clickbait. What are these movies? What are these movies? I don't know. All right, we got somewhere.
Here's the last one. Here's the last one, and Nate is already lost, but let's see if he can pull up one more point.
Yes, it's a real movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna go yes.
Yes, it's a 2004 French comedy, co-written and produced and directed by Alain Chabat. I'm saying that wrong, but the title is literally 3 capital R's and 4 small R's with the exclamation points. Guys, that is the win. 6-4. Dan wins the trivia of Is It Real or Fake Movie Edition. And that's how we're going to end this show. I hope y'all listening to the PanRaconTeurs. I'm Mike.
I'm Nate.
Danny.
Make sure to follow us, subscribe, click that bell, give us a like, write some comments, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and listen to us on Spotify, and tell your friends that we come and we're locked in a dungeon somewhere out in the U.S. The Dan's holding us captive. And we're in a bunker somewhere. Free us. See ya, guys. See ya. Bye.
Later.
Cheese burger.